And this is Dad. I wanted to give you a little recording of our favorite poem by Pindar, the ancient Greek poet Pindar. Pindaros is his name in ancient Greek. We call him Pindar in English. The poem we always recite, Ariston Min Hudor, is for a. Let me switch over here. I'll try to show you what this is. Is for a guy named Hieron from Syracuse, and he was in a horse race in 476 BCE, which is a long time ago, and 2,500 years ago. And he won the race, and his family or his friends or his city would they would ask Pindar, they would pay Pindar money to write a poem, and this is what the poem was. So I wanted to go over it here, and you can kind of just listen to this video a few times to get this, but remember here, Ariston min hudor, hode krusos aitomenon pur. So remember here that P is an R. Aris, and this little looks like an O, but there's a little line there with it. It goes, and then a little line like that is an S sound. Ariston. Now you can see there's some marks up here too, and these can mean things. For when you're in the old way of speaking Greek, they had when you were just talking and not in poetry, they would have meaning like Ariston min hudor, hode krusos aitomenon pur. But we kind of lost the ability to know what those pitches are. It's a little more like Chinese, where you have different pitches. So the word, even in Chinese, the word ma, 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 ma. They all have different meanings based on the different pitches. So don't worry too much about these right now. In the poetry, what you'll see is there's a flow to it, and I think just as you keep learning to read it, it'll come to you. But let's go over this again. Ariston min hudor. Now remember, the V is actually an N. And this looks like an M pretty much. Min hudor. So this funny looking letter here is a big O sound. There's a small O, and O. So Ariston min hudor. Hode krusos aithomenon pur. Hate diaprepe nukti meganaros exoka plutu. Now look at this next part. You know what it means? Best on the one hand, water. Hode. This actually means the hode, but it looks like it's the but gold, but in ancient Greek it was just but gold, or on the other hand, gold. So it's that min de. This is very common in ancient Greek. Ariston min, on the one hand, Ariston min hudor, hode krusos, but on the other hand, krusos, gold, aitomenon pur, shining fire. And you have to kind of mean, what does it mean? But gold, shining fire, maybe like shining fire, as shining fire. There's not another word in here, but it's just the but gold, shining. I think of shining as fire as shining. Burning fire, really it means shining fire. You can use your poetic imagination. When it stands out at night, when, hate diaprepe, it. See, the A at the end says it stands out. What is it? It is gold. In this case, hode tells me it's the subject of the sentence, like Keigen ate pasta. Well, Keigen is the subject of the sentence. So hode krusos is the subject here. When it stands out, nukti is really, this little nukti helps you know that it's at night, during night. The little E sound tells you. The regular word for nooks, or for night, is nooks. But nukti tells me it means at night. Hate diaprepe nukti megranos ex oka plutu. And then this is an interesting phrase, these three words. Ex oka is a preposition like by, with, or from, or at, or in. You know how to use those in English. But look how in ancient Greek, it's really nukti exoka. This means something like, really means outstanding, or exoka, greater than, but it's a preposition. I'm not really sure how to say it. The X means out. So it's like beyond. That's the word, beyond. That's a preposition, beyond. So, hate dia prepe nukti megaranos exoka plutu. When it stands out at night beyond big man wealth. That's literally what that means. Big man wealth. You tell me how that should be done. So this is best on the one hand water. But gold burning fire when it stands out at night, big man beyond wealth. Beyond big man wealth. So megaranos and Pluto go together. Megaranos is an adjective that describes wealth, Pluto. Beyond a big man's wealth, a great man's wealth, you'd have to make that same thing. Okay, so let's say it again. You know this one. All right, let's go on to the next one, which is what you wanted to know. So here, this little a means if. A, de, and look, that's that same de. You see this de? De. Now, what's happened here is, notice it's crusos. So the that sound can stay there, the that vowel sound. But notice here you've got eithla. What happens to that E is it just kind of disappears when there's a vowel here. So it's a daithla, or a daithla garuaid. So that E disappears, that little sound. Let me say it again. A da, see how it just goes da? It's like da, almost like D-A, da. A daithla garuaid, LDI, philon ator, meket haliuscope, allo thalp noteron in hamerai, phaenon astron, eremas di aiteros, made Olympias agona ferteron audasomen. Okay, so we'll go through that a little bit more here with that. I'm looking at another text here. Let me just double check where it said, highly, highly. Okay, that's fine. Now I see. Okay, so it says, but if, and this little thing, but if contests, like Olympic contests, but contests to garuain is almost like to sing, but it's like garuain from your throat, that garuain, gargle. Think of the word gargle. It's like garuain, to sing, but it's a real masculine guttural. That's why I always wanted your name, Keigen. That's what I wanted, that g sound. I always thought of that in ancient Greece. That's where g, Keigen, for me comes from. A da la garuain LDI. If but contests to sing you wish. That little I at the end tells me you. And the LD part means to wish or want in that kind of form. So really, if I just break it down, if you want to sing about, or to sing of, or to sing, contests, philon ator. Philon is like the word Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love. Phil means love. Phil. Philon ator, and your ator is your heart. Ator, like you can think of your aorta, if that helps you remember it. Philon ator. So, but if you want to sing about contests, philon ator, dear heart, meket haliuscope. Meket means don't. The may is like may, no, don't, or meket. I say meket because what happens here is this is haliu. Now, notice it's aristone, not haristone. But here I said haliu. Notice this little squiggle right here is faced a different way from this little squiggle at the top here. When that little squiggle is facing to the right, a little bit curving toward the right, like you're making a C, it makes it have a h sound. Meket haliuscope. It's like, don't look Meket haliuskope. Don't look, or really look no longer, or look no more than in this allo thalpnoteron in hamerai phaenon astron. And I will have to come back to this haliu. It really means of the sun, or really in this case, than the sun. Um, and then this is allo means other. Thalpnoteron in hamerai phaenon astron. Can you guess what astron means? Astron means star. So he's like, don't look at another star, right? Another star, phaenon, thalpnoteron, warmer, in this case. Don't look for another, really, meket scope allo. Don't look for another astron, star, warmer than the sun. In this case, bright in the day, phaenon, bright, or shining in the day. And here's another one. Look at this. Eremas di aiteron. Eremas. Think of I'm not a hermit, but eremas means lonely. Di means through. Aiteros means the ether or the sky. And notice again, look how this preposition is right in the middle. Dia is the preposition, and that A just drops off because you already have an A here. But look how the same thing. Adjective, preposition, noun. Same thing here. Adjective, preposition, noun. It's called we call it a preposition sandwich. Latin does this too, but Greek does it especially good here. So literally, through the lonely sky. So meket haliuskope allothalpnoteron in hamerai phaenon astron hemeras diaiteros. Don't look. Hey, it's like, hey, heart, if you want to sing about contests, don't look for another star brighter than the. There's no. Don't go looking for a brighter star shining in the sky, shining during the day in the lonely sky, than the sun. Made Olympias agona ferteron audaso main. Lest we sing about the. Let me see if I can switch over here to this one here. I can show you. So this is sort of the English one here. Let's see how he says someone has made a translation here. Mine was very different as we're walking through this. But he says, let us not proclaim any contest greater than Olympia. Look no further for any star warmer than the sun. All right, let's see how we did this. And let us not proclaim any contest. So, meket aliu, don't scope, look for a star, any other star warmer than the sun. May de, look at that de again. May means not. De is like and don't, may, almost like maybe not, or we will not, or don't let us audasomai sing. It's another word for sing. Garuain means kind of sing, but you have to imagine like garuain, more through throat. Audasoman is to maybe speak of, maybe not sing as much, but to mention. And agona and agon, in this case, but another kind of contest. So we had aethla is a kind of contest, and an agona is a kind of contest, but they're different in some cases. I don't remember the exact difference between these two, but you can see how rich. We have two words for garuain and audasomen that are different words for singing or speaking or saying. Ancient Greek is so rich in its vocabulary. So here's, and don't talk about a contest in agona better than ferteron, better than Olympia, the Olympic Games. Whew, that's a long way to get through this. Let's go through this again. I'll read it one more time and I'll try to do a translation. Ariston minhudor, hode chrysos aithomenon pur, hate dia prepe nukti, megaranos ex oca plutu. E da eith lagaroe nel diai filonator me keth haliuscope allo thopnoteron in hamerai phaenon astron eremas diaiteros made Olympias agora ferteron audasso men. Okay, so as we know, on the one hand, water is the best, but on the other hand, there's gold, shining, burning fire when it stands out at night beyond a great man's wealth. But if my heart, my dear heart, my loving heart, you want to sing about a contest, don't look for another star warmer than the sun, shining in the day. That's that in Hamerai Phino, shining in the day, astro, shining in the day through the lonely sky. And don't mention or sing about a contest better than the Olympic contest. So that's not super poetic, but you get the sense. Let's see what this guy says. Water is best, and gold, like a blazing fire in the night, stands out supreme of all lordly wealth. But if, my heart, you wish to sing of contests, look no further for any star warmer than the sun, shining by day through the lonely sky. And let us not proclaim any contest greater than Olympia. Let us not proclaim. See, he says audasso men means proclaim, and agona, a contest, ferteron, greater than Olympia. Okay. So those are the next lines there. Now, of course, this poem keeps going and going. It's a long poem, but this gives you a little bit more to work on. Again, I'll start from here one last time. E da eithla garuain eldi filonator. Maketh aliuscope alo thop noteron in hamerai phaenons astron. Eremas diaiteros, made Olympias agona ferteron audasome. All right, there's your first pretty deep lesson in ancient Greek. I'm telling you, Pindar is hard. He's old Greek poet, but one of the most beautiful. You listen to that. Ariston min hudor, hode crusos, aitomenon por. There's not a more melodic, musical poetry you would read in any language than this. This is one of these lines that you're learning here are some of the most magical, musical, rich lines of poetry you will ever read. All right, I love you, my son. This has gone long. Okay, I love you, man.